Imagine standing in an open field, the horizon stretching endlessly before you, the sky boundless above. You feel a profound sense of freedom, the exhilarating rush of limitless potential. Yet as you take a step forward, you realize invisible chains are holding you back. These chains are not physical, but they are powerful, woven from psychological, emotional, societal, legal, economic, and environmental threads. The pursuit of true freedom requires understanding and navigating these complex constraints. Psychological factors: the mind's silent shackles. The human mind, while capable of remarkable creativity and resilience, can also become a prison. Fear and anxiety, for instance, often grip us in ways that limit our actions and decisions. Picture a talented artist who, despite having a wealth of ideas, is paralyzed by the fear of failure. This fear becomes a cage, preventing the artist from sharing their work with the world. Similarly, an individual might decline a promising job opportunity because the anxiety of the unknown feels insurmountable. Mental health conditions like depression or anxiety disorders amplify these constraints. Depression can drain an individual's energy and motivation, making even simple tasks seem overwhelming. Anxiety disorders can create an incessant background noise of worry, disrupting one's ability to think clearly and act freely. These psychological barriers are potent, often unseen by others, but they fundamentally limit the freedom to live fully and authentically. Emotional factors: the heart's invisible barriers. Emotions are powerful drivers of human behavior, but they can also be formidable barriers to freedom. Guilt and shame, for instance, can cast long shadows over our lives. Imagine someone who made a mistake years ago, and the ensuing guilt has lingered, influencing every decision since. This individual might avoid new relationships or opportunities out of a misplaced sense of unworthiness. Low self-esteem is another emotional constraint that can severely limit freedom. Consider a highly capable professional who constantly second-guesses their abilities, declining promotions or new challenges because they feel inadequate. This lack of self-confidence can create a self-fulfilling prophecy, where the fear of failure prevents success, further entrenching the belief in one's inadequacy. Habits and addictions. The chains of compulsion. Habits and addictions represent some of the most insidious constraints on freedom. Addiction, whether to substances like drugs and alcohol or behaviors like gambling, creates a cycle of dependency that can dominate an individual's life. The compulsive need to satisfy an addiction takes precedence over all else, narrowing the individual's world and severely limiting their freedom. Even habits which might seem benign compared to addictions can constrain freedom. Take, for example, the habit of procrastination. This habit can prevent someone from achieving their goals, leading to a constant state of stress and unfulfilled potential. The familiar comfort of habits can create a rut, where the perceived effort to change seems too daunting, thus perpetuating the cycle. Moral and ethical constraints. The guiding limits. Moral and ethical principles provide a framework for living that is essential for societal cohesion, but they can also limit personal freedom. A person who values honesty above all might find themselves unable to lie, even when a lie could avoid harm or create a significant advantage. This rigid adherence to personal values can constrain actions and choices. Similarly, a strong sense of duty or obligation can limit freedom. For instance, a parent might sacrifice personal ambitions and desires to fulfill their responsibilities to their children. While this sense of duty is admirable and often necessary, it nonetheless represents a constraint on the parent's freedom to pursue other life paths. Societal and cultural factors. The collective conformity. Societal norms and cultural traditions exert a powerful influence over individual behavior, often dictating what is considered acceptable or unacceptable. These societal pressures can limit freedom in profound ways. Imagine living in a community where strict gender roles are enforced. An individual who does not conform to these roles may face ostracism or punishment, limiting their freedom to express their true identity. Cultural expectations around family, career, and social behavior can similarly constrain freedom. For example, the expectation to marry and have children can pressure individuals into life choices that do not align with their personal desires. The weight of tradition can be heavy, making it difficult to break free and forge an independent path. Legal and political constraints. The governance of freedom. Laws and political systems are designed to maintain order and protect citizens, but they inherently limit freedom by defining what is permissible and what is not. Legal constraints, such as regulations and prohibitions, shape behavior by imposing consequences for non-compliance. For instance, while traffic laws are essential for safety, they also limit the freedom to drive as one wishes. Political systems, especially in authoritarian regimes, can severely restrict freedom through censorship, surveillance, and repression. Even in democratic societies, political decisions and policies can limit freedom, such as through laws that restrict freedom of speech or assembly in the name of security or public order. Economic factors. The financial fetters. Economic constraints are among the most visible and impactful limitations on freedom. Financial resources, or the lack thereof, greatly influence an individual's ability to exercise freedom. Poverty, in particular, creates a daily struggle for survival, where the need to secure basic necessities overshadows all other considerations. Economic constraints can limit access to education, healthcare, and opportunities for personal and professional growth. Employment conditions also play a significant role. Job insecurity, unemployment, and exploitative work environments can limit individuals' freedom to pursue their passions or assert their rights. Economic dependence, whether on employers, family, or social welfare systems, creates power dynamics that further restrict autonomy and freedom. Technological factors. The digital dilemma. Technology, while offering unprecedented opportunities, also introduces new constraints on freedom. Surveillance technologies, both by governments and private companies, can limit privacy and freedom of expression. The knowledge that one's online activities are being monitored can lead to self-censorship and a reluctance to explore or express controversial opinions. The digital divide exacerbates these constraints by creating disparities in access to information and communication technologies. Those without internet access or digital literacy skills are excluded from many opportunities for education, employment, and social engagement, restricting their freedom to participate fully in modern society. Physical and environmental factors. The natural limits. Physical and environmental factors also constrain freedom in significant ways. Physical disabilities or chronic health conditions can limit individuals' ability to engage in various activities, restricting their freedom of movement and action. Access to healthcare and support services is crucial in mitigating these constraints, but many individuals still face significant barriers. Environmental conditions, such as living in areas affected by conflict, natural disasters, or severe pollution, can severely restrict freedom. The ability to live in a safe and healthy environment is fundamental to the exercise of freedom, and environmental degradation can undermine this basic necessity. The interplay of constraints, a complex web. The constraints on freedom are not isolated. They interact and compound one another, creating a complex web that can be difficult to navigate. Economic constraints can exacerbate psychological and emotional limitations, as financial stress leads to anxiety and depression. Societal norms and cultural expectations can reinforce psychological barriers, such as low self-esteem or fear of rejection. Legal and political constraints intersect with technological and economic factors, creating multifaceted limitations on freedom. For example, economic inequalities can influence who has access to technology, while laws regulating internet use and data privacy shape the extent to which individuals can freely express themselves online. Pathways to enhancing freedom. Enhancing freedom requires addressing the various internal and external constraints that limit it. Here are some pathways to consider. Promoting mental health and well-being. Improving mental health services and support can help address psychological constraints on freedom. Access to counseling, therapy, and mental health resources can empower individuals to overcome fear, anxiety, and other psychological barriers. Promoting mental well-being through public health initiatives and reducing the stigma associated with mental illness are also crucial steps. Encouraging emotional resilience. Building emotional resilience can help individuals cope with guilt, shame, and low self-esteem. Programs focused on developing self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and coping skills can empower individuals to navigate emotional challenges and make freer choices. Supportive social networks and community resources can also provide the necessary support for emotional resilience. Addressing addictions and habits. Efforts to address addictions and harmful habits are essential for enhancing freedom. Providing access to addiction treatment programs, support groups, and educational resources can help individuals overcome compulsive behaviors. Encouraging healthy habits and lifestyles through public health campaigns and community initiatives can also promote personal freedom. Fostering moral and ethical flexibility. Encouraging a balanced approach to moral and ethical principles can enhance freedom. Promoting critical thinking and ethical reasoning skills can help individuals navigate moral dilemmas and make decisions that align with their values while respecting their freedom. Supporting a culture of open dialogue and respect for diverse perspectives can also reduce the pressure to conform to rigid ethical standards. Challenging societal and cultural norms. Efforts to challenge and transform societal norms and cultural traditions that limit freedom are essential. Promoting gender equality, cultural diversity, and social inclusion can help create a more open and accepting society. Education and awareness campaigns can shift public attitudes and reduce the pressure to conform to restrictive norms. Advocating for legal and political reform. Legal and political reforms are crucial for enhancing freedom. Advocating for laws and policies that protect individual rights and freedoms can create a more just and equitable society. Efforts to promote transparency, accountability, and democratic governance can also reduce the risk of political repression and censorship. Addressing economic inequality. Reducing economic inequality is fundamental to enhancing freedom. Policies that promote economic opportunity, fair wages, and access to essential services can help alleviate the constraints of poverty. Efforts to create a more inclusive and equitable economy can empower individuals to pursue their goals and aspirations. Bridging the digital divide. Closing the digital divide is essential for ensuring that all individuals can participate fully in modern society. Efforts to expand internet access, promote digital literacy, and protect online privacy can enhance freedom in the digital age. Supporting initiatives that provide affordable technology and training can help bridge the gap and empower individuals to leverage digital opportunities. Enhancing physical and environmental well-being. Improving access to healthcare and support services can help individuals overcome physical constraints on freedom. Efforts to create safe, healthy, and sustainable environments can also enhance freedom by ensuring that individuals have the resources and conditions they need to thrive. Addressing environmental degradation and promoting sustainable practices are crucial steps in this direction. Conclusion: the pursuit of true freedom. The pursuit of true freedom is a complex and ongoing journey. It requires recognizing and addressing the multifaceted constraints that limit our actions, thoughts, and decisions. By understanding the interplay of psychological, emotional, societal, legal, economic, technological, and environmental factors, we can develop strategies to enhance freedom and empower individuals to live fuller, more authentic lives. True freedom is not merely the absence of constraints, but the presence of opportunities to grow, explore, and realize one's potential. It is the ability to navigate the invisible chains that bind us and to create a life that reflects our deepest values and aspirations. In this pursuit, we find not only personal liberation, but also the foundation for a more just and equitable society.